Hello everyone, this is part 2 of What If Naruto Was the Hollow God, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto was standing in the middle of the forest, not that far from Konoha as he thought he will be. All around him, there are trees, lying on the ground, most of them completely destroyed while some, relatively undamaged, except they were ripped out from the roots. Naruto was standing on one of those trees, and was looking down at the girl, who was apparently his cousin, and who he is supposed to save. It just had to be her, Naruto said to himself. And how the hell is she still alive? It's been around 3 days since her battle with Shikamaru, and I'm assuming, Temari, judging by the damage done to the forest, which can only be done by a very powerful wind-type jutsu. He sighed, and then jumped down from the destroyed tree, right next to the girl's upper body. Her lower was buried under the trees, which have fallen on her legs and most definitely, crushed them into oblivion. I doubt there is a single unbroken bone in her lower body. Naruto commented to himself. The goddess was right, she's probably only alive because she is in a coma. She would have died from the pain if she was conscious. Naruto kneeled next to the girl and looked at her for a few minutes, thinking if it would be better to just let her die, instead of going through with what the goddess told him. XXX Flashback XXX. Tell me, Naruto asked just before the goddess was about to send him back. How am I supposed to save this girl, whoever she is? I'm not a medic, and none of Espada had skills to heal others. They could only regenerate themselves. You need to understand, Naruto, that you are different than the Espada were, the goddess said. All of your powers, which Espada had, are now joined and amplified. Because of the high-speed regeneration, you are now virtually immortal, as you can regenerate yourself even if the only thing left of you is a single cell. This was a news and a big surprise for Naruto, as he didn't think that his high-speed regeneration would now be that powerful. Of all the Espada, Ulquiorra had the best high-speed regeneration, and even he had his limits, as he couldn't regenerate his brain and other internal organs. But now, with all Espada joined back into the original Naruto, his HSR went off the charts. What does that have to do with healing the girl? Naruto asked. Unlike the Espada who could only regenerate themselves, your blood now has a capabilities of transformation, the goddess said, and Naruto was utterly confused, which was shown on his face. He had no idea what she was talking about. Your blood can transform humans into human, hollow hybrid, just like you are. The goddess finally said, making Naruto's eyes bug out of their sockets. You cannot be serious, Naruto said. I am. The goddess confirmed. So you actually want me to turn her into a human, hollow hybrid? Naruto questioned. Why would I do that? And did you even ask yourself what would she want? Would she want to simply die, or be turned into partial monster? She wants to live, Naruto, the goddess sighed. She fought for 6 days, trying to survive, and unconsciously hoping that someone would find her and rescue her. After 6th day, she finally died. She was in a coma, all time, which is one of the reasons she lasted for so long, but as I said, even thought she was in coma, she fought to last as long as possible. As for the part of her becoming a partial monster, as you put it, I don't think she would want that, but if she was to be given the option of choosing between death, or life as something more than a human, then I'm sure she would choose the latter. Naruto shook his head, and sighed. How exactly are this girl and I related? You never said that. She is half Uzumaki, just like you, the goddess said, while Naruto rose his eyebrows. Your mother was from the Uzumaki clan, while your father was Konoha's 4th Hokage. Naruto's eyes bugged out again. The goddess then went and explained to Naruto the history of the Uzumaki clan, and what caused their ending. She then went and told him what happened on the night of his birth and why the 9 tails ended up sealed inside of him. By then, Naruto was pissed beyond belief. Not only because of what happened to his mother's clan, but because his father is the village hero, while he was treated like garbage, and even executed for doing his mission. How many times has he asked the third about his parents, only for the old bastard to tell him how he doesn't know who they were, and that Naruto shouldn't pay that much attention to finding out, as there is no point, since, if they are dead, then they are dead, and nothing will change if he finds out who they were. But if they are still alive, then that would mean that they abandoned him. The old man said that sometimes, some things are better left unknown. Damn you, Sarutobi, Naruto raged in his head. Damn you Konoha. Damn you all to hell. XXX flashback end XXX. Naruto woke up from his memories, and then decided to just finish this off already and go to find someplace where he and Tayuya can stay for a little while. He bit his right thumb, drawing blood, before he moved the hand above Tayuya's slightly opened mouth, and let a single drop of it fall into her mouth. XXX. Tayuya felt like she was starting to regain her consciousness. Up until now, all she felt was like she was floating into an endless space, where, outside of the fact she knew she was there, she didn't have any other senses. This has gone for what felt like eternity to her, but then, she felt a sudden warmth which spread around her body, before she felt excruciating pain, unlike any she has felt before, and she was given the curse seal by Orochimaru. Because of the pain, she finally lost the grip she had on her conscious, and blacked out completely. She has no idea how long it's been since that moment, but now, she can feel herself lying on something soft. She thought it must be a bed. She could also hear some noise in the background, though it wasn't so loud as to be annoying. Finally, she felt that there is something different about her, she just didn't know what it was. She opened her eyes, slowly, as to adjust to the light, and because she was in a coma for a few days, which made her feel very tired and sluggish. Through the bleary sight, she looked around, trying to figure out where she was. The first thing she noticed is that she was in a normal-looking room, and lying on the bed, as she previously thought. Then, she realized that this is not one of the rooms in Orochimaru's lair, as they are all underground and thus, dark, while the room she is in, has a small window, which is letting a good amount of sunlight enter it. Before Tayuya could see anything else in the room, which would help her figure out where she is, she heard a voice. I see you are finally awake, the voice said, startling Tayuya in the process, and making her look toward where it came from. It's about time. It was getting boring just sitting here. The voice has instantly cleared her eyesight, thus, allowing Tayuya to see Naruto, who was currently sitting on an armchair, across from the bed she was lying on. The moment her eyes laid on Naruto and she took in his form and smirking face, she blushed, heavily. This didn't escape Naruto, whose smirk widened. Oh, is little Tayuya, blushing just from seeing little old me? Naruto teased Tayuya, whose blush widened for a moment, before her eyes flared in rage. Shut up, you Kosuke, Tayuya exploded at Naruto. And who the hell are you? Naruto's smirk vanished in an instant, only to be replaced by a scowl and narrowed eyes. The look on his face made Tayuya recoil a little in fright. Listen to me carefully, Tayuya, Naruto said in even voice, not projecting any anger whatsoever, but Tayuya knew better than to assume he is not angry. Orochimaru and your old buddies might have tolerated your foul language, but I will not. Do you understand? Naruto's words were laced with power, which scared the shit out of Tayuya, who nodded her head, vigorously. Naruto's calm tone and the threat reminded Tayuya far too much of Orochimaru, and she knew better than to anger Orochimaru, otherwise she will find herself on an experiment table. With Naruto on the other hand, she doesn't know what to expect, so potentially, he is even worse than Orochimaru, especially since she can feel the power rolling off of him in waves and pressing on her whole body. It was suffocating. Tayuya gulped, and then politely asked, being careful not to utter some foul word, or who knows what might happen. Who are you? Where am I? And what happened to me? Naruto looked Tayuya in the eyes, for a few moments, before he sighed. You can call me, Alessandro Stark, here, Tayuya interrupted him. Is that your real name? She asked because it sounded strange to her that Naruto said, you can call me, instead of just saying, my name is. No. Naruto simply said, and Tayuya gave him a deadpan look. My real name is not important, so as I said, call me Alessandro Stark. We are currently in an inn, in a small town, not far from where I found you. As for what happened to you, well, you got your ass handed to you by the heir of the Nara clan, and the daughter of the late 4th Kazekage. They almost killed you, and you would have died if I didn't find you and saved you. When Naruto said what happened to her, Tayuya's memories resurfaced, and she remembered the battle she was in against the Shadow Bastard, before that Sandhor joined in and blew her with that thrice-damned wind jutsu of hers. The last thing she remembered was the unbelievable pain in her legs, which at that point were pressed under the several tons of weight from the trees which were destroyed by Temari's wind jutsu. She remembered how she used most of the chakra she had left and redirected it into her heart and brain, leaving barely anything for the rest of her body. This has almost completely shut down the rest of her body, though. She did that in order to survive as long as possible, and hope that someone will find her and save her from dying. Apparently, someone did find her. Tayuya then looked at herself, and at her legs, which she can move normally. In fact, she felt so good, that if she didn't know better, she would have thought that nothing happened to her and that it was all a dream. How are my legs all healed? Tayuya asked. They were buried under that rubble of trees, and there is no way to heal something like that. Not even Orochimaru's former teammate, Tsunade Senju, would be able to heal my legs. Naruto smirked a little. I never said I healed you, did I? This made Tayuya even more confused and made her want to rage and swear to hell and back, but managed to hold her tongue. Then who did? She asked. You weren't healed, Tayuya, Naruto said. You were reconstructed. What the fuck does that mean? Tayuya shouted, before she realized that she swore, and clapped her hand over her mouth, while looking at Naruto's narrowed eyes, with her wide and fearful ones. Naruto decided to forget about her slip-up, and focused on explaining to Tayuya what he did to her and what she is right now. It took him a few minutes, but Naruto was finally finished with his explanation, and was now looking at Tayuya, who had a blank look on her face. The silence lasted for about 5 minutes, before Tayuya took a deep breath, and looked at Naruto. So, what am I right now? You are just like me, Naruto said. Half human, half hollow. Because of that, you now have 2 forms of power. One is chakra, while the other is called Ryoryoku. As such, you need training to be able to separate them and use them, since ninja techniques wouldn't work if you mix Ryoryoku into them by accident. The same goes for hollow techniques, which won't work with chakra. Do you understand? Tayuya nodded, confirming that she understood, though she was having a hard time believing in everything Naruto, or Alessandro, as he doesn't want to tell her his real name, has told her. Tayuya has always thought that the world she knew is very big and that there is already too much unbelievable stuff in it, so there is no way that there is something even more unbelievable. Right. She was wrong, and now she knows about it. She did wonder if there is someone else in the EN, who actually knows about everything that Naruto told her, or are the 2 of them the only of their kind and the only ones who know about Soul Reapers and Hollows, in all the EN. She also wondered about how Alessandro became what he is, since that is something he didn't tell her, and refuses to tell her. At least for now. Tayuya sighed, and looked at Naruto. What now? We are staying here until tomorrow, so that you can get used to your new self, Naruto said, and then, we are heading to Tanzakugai, so that I can make some money. Tayuya looked at Naruto with raised eyebrows, and asked. Why Tanzakugai? What do you actually do to get money? You never mentioned that, and I doubt you are a ninja affiliated with any village. I was affiliated to a village until not that long ago, Naruto said, surprising Tayuya as he said that. But I'm not anymore, which means that I need to get money however I can, especially now that you are with me. The money I used to pay for this room, was the money I liberated from the corpses of some bandits I run into on the way here, Naruto said with a straight face, making Tayuya shudder because of how cold he sounded when he said that. I divided that money in 2 groups. One for the food and other expenses for the next 2 weeks, while 2 more weeks worth of money, I will use inside of some gambling halls in Tanzakugai. But why gamble what little money you have? Tayuya asked. There is no way for you to know that you will actually make some money in the gambling houses and not lose everything. Why not keep it, and we can search for some rogue ninja for bounties? That might take a while, Naruto said. We don't even know where to begin to look, and how long it will take. On the other hand, I'm very lucky when it comes to gambling. I guess you can say that, all the bad luck I had in life was balanced by the good luck I had in gambling. Also, it will take a while for you to learn to control your new powers, and until that happens, I don't want you to battle against anyone and risk dying, after I went through the trouble of all but reviving you. Tayuya was taken aback by Naruto's words, as she didn't think he actually cares about her. Then again, he did mention during his earlier explanation, that they are cousins, as he is half Uzumaki, just like she is. Fine, she finally said. I need you to do something for me, before we leave this place, though. Naruto rose his eyebrows in interest. What do you need? He asked. Orochimaru has spies everywhere, she said. Which is why, I need a disguise to hide my face, so that he won't find out that I'm alive, since, I'm assuming he thinks I'm dead, as I have never returned to Sound Village, and he can feel the curse mark on all those he placed it on. Now that it is gone, after the reconstruction, he will most definitely think I'm dead, but it's still better to hide for a while, just in case. I wouldn't worry about Orochimaru, if I were you, Naruto said. He won't be able to get to you, without going through me first. But, if you wish to hide for a while, then I will try to find you something else to wear, and some mask for your face. Tayuya was very surprised by the fact that, Alessandro, doesn't seem to be afraid of Orochimaru. She knew exactly how powerful the snake pedo is, and as such, is wondering if, Alessandro, is not afraid because he is that strong, or because he is severely overestimating himself, and underestimating Orochimaru. Whichever of the two is, she is sure that one day, maybe even very soon, she will find out. She can only hope that, Alessandro, really is as strong as he makes himself to be, because if he isn't, and Orochimaru gets his hands on her, well, she would rather die, than end up as an experiment for Orochimaru and his butt buddy, Kabuto. With their conversation finished, for now, Naruto left to get some food for Tayuya, since she hasn't eaten anything in nearly 5 days, and is probably starving. Tayuya stayed in bed, as Naruto told her not to get up for a little while longer, to allow her body to adjust to the changes it went through. More than 2 months has passed since Naruto saved Tayuya and the two of them became traveling companions. While the two of them are cousins, they have been pretty much alone their entire lives, with no real family whatsoever, as Naruto's have died on the same night he was born, while Tayuya was too young when his parents died, so she barely has any memories of them. Because of this, their agreement is that for now, they are going to be traveling companions, while their relationship is going to be friends, and student and teacher type of relationship. During the last 2 months, Naruto didn't change much, and was still the same. Tayuya on the other hand, well, she has changed a lot, starting with the outfit that Naruto commissioned to be made for her. That day when Naruto went to get some food for himself and Tayuya, he also went and found a tailor, in the small town they were in. There, he found the material he wanted the outfit to be made of, and then, much to the confusion of the tailor, he drew the type of outfit he wants to be made for Tayuya. He also told the tailor the exact size for each piece of the suit, as he has apparently been able to size Tayuya up. The ability to draw and size people up, is something Naruto got from Sailaporo. Naruto was happy, that there was a part of him which turned out to be very smart, because drawing and sizing people up in any way, shape and form, was not something he was good at while he was still alive and a citizen of the Leaf Village. Maybe that's one of the reasons he ended up on the execution platform. When Tayuya saw the finished outfit that Naruto ordered to be made for her, she almost blew her fuse, because the outfit is, well in one word, perverted. She calmed down after a while, after Naruto was able to convince her that that outfit is going to make her sexy, which, deep down, she had nothing against, and will also help her in the battle, as even though it is not made to protect her body, it will serve as a distraction during a battle against guys. The reason Naruto had Tayuya's outfit as he did, is because he wanted it to be similar to his, so he remembered the kind of outfits the female Arancars used to wear, while he was in Hukomundo, and picked the one he thought would be best suited for Tayuya. XXX. Right now, Naruto and Tayuya were walking along the road, while all around them, there were fields, which people use for cultivating food. There were also small mountains and hills, here and there. While Naruto looks as he did after the resurrection, Tayuya now has her hair in 2 pigtails, which reach down her back, and has an Oni mask on her face, hiding it from everyone's sight. Tayuya's uniform includes a short, frilled skirt, white half-sleeves worn from the elbows down to the wrists, and what appears to be thigh-length black-colored, white-outlined boots. She wears white bracelets on her arms, and she also wears a white-colored, black-outlined material that ties around her neck, which reveals a fair portion of her stomach as well as her chest. Basically, her uniform looks like lowly avians. Strapped on Tayuya's right hip, is a simple katana, which Naruto bought for her, so he can teach her kenjutsu. After the transformation into a human, hollow hybrid, Tayuya didn't get any weapon, unlike Naruto, but Naruto doesn't actually know if she will develop some special power over time, and gain some weapon, which is why he bought her a sword. There is a chance that if she awakens some powers, she will get another type of weapon, and not a sword, but if that happens, then Naruto will try to teach her how to use it. While they were walking down the road, Naruto asked, "Remind me, why are we here in the rice country, when this is the land where Orochimaru's lair is, and you specifically said that you don't want to go anywhere near him, thus, the mask on your face?" Tayuya looked at Naruto and groaned. "Didn't you say that you plan to revive the Uzumaki clan, one day, and to rebuild the land of whirlpools?" she asked him, and Naruto nodded. "Well, if you plan to rebuild the village, you need people who will live in it, which is why we are here. And there are people here who are willing to join us?" Naruto questioned. "Yes," Tayuya said. "There is a clan here, which was quite famous a while ago, but have, over time, fallen out of favor, so to say, and were surpassed by many other clans from other villages. The clan split into two factions where some of their most powerful members were tricked by Orochimaru, who promised to restore their clan's status, and were used in his kinjutsu development experiments. The other faction became involved in criminal activity and were considered traitors by the rest of the clan." "Let me get this straight," Naruto said. "You want me to invite criminals to join the village I plan to build?" "When you put it like that, it does sound strange and stupid," Tayuya said. "But you need to understand that those criminals didn't have much of a choice. The land of rice paddies is not like the land of fire, or some other countries. The daimyo is corrupt and power-hungry, and even before Orochimaru came, people have suffered here. In fact, the reason Orochimaru even built a hidden village here, is because of how power and money-hungry the daimyo is. Just like with the Fuma clan, Orochimaru promised him everything the daimyo wanted to hear, and was allowed to build a village. Of course, Orochimaru never intended to keep his word in the first place, and plans to dispose of the daimyo when the time is right. The faction of the Fuma clan which didn't join Orochimaru, didn't have anything else to do, but to resort to stealing, thievery, blackmail and such. They can't survive in any other way, except to be criminals, or to pack up and move to another country, and even that wouldn't be easy, because if they are caught by Orochimaru's man, or daimyo's samurai, they would be declared traitors, and then they would be executed, at best, or taken by Orochimaru for experimenting, at worst." Naruto groaned. "Why am I even going through with this?" he murmured slowly. "I should just wipe out the EN, and be done with this shit." Even though he was talking quietly, Naruto's words were heard by Tayuya, whose eyes widened for a moment, before she looked at him with both curiosity and fear in her eyes. Naruto saw the look in her eyes, and realized that she heard him, which made him groan again, and shake his head a little. "Fine," Naruto said. "We will go and have a talk with whoever is the head of that clan. After that, we will see what happens." Tayuya nodded her head, and looked ahead of herself, but she was deep in thought about what she heard Naruto say. What was that all about? Would he really destroy all of the N? Can he even do that? From then on, the two of them continued to walk in silence. XXX. Naruto and Tayuya found themselves standing in front of the gate, surrounding the town, if it can even be called that, and not a wasteland of run-down houses and barely any people. "So this is the place where the remnants of the Fuma clan live at," Naruto commented as he looked at the town, through the opened gate. "Not much of a place, is it?" Tayuya sighed. "Unfortunately, many of the towns in the land of rice paddies are like this. This country was a home to many shinobi clans, who had been used in a hopeless war, with the clans suffering heavily. Members of the Fuma clan are not the only ones who joined Orochimaru. Many of the surviving clans have joined Orochimaru, lured by his power to help them revive their clans. With most of the ninja clans now being in Sound Village, the rest of the towns are only left with civilians, and barely any ninja, which caused an even greater poverty than there was before. If there are so many clans here in this land, then why did you only want me to invite Fuma clan to join my village, and not a members of some other clans?" Naruto asked. "Because there are barely any left of all those clans," Tayuya said. "As I said, majority of the ninja clans from the land of rice paddies have perished in the wars between each other, and what was left has joined Orochimaru and his Sound Village. Few who didn't join Orochimaru don't have a fixed location, as far as I know. They are constantly on the run because they know that sooner or later, Orochimaru will come after them, and once he does, he will not give them a choice to join his forces as a ninja, but will use them in his sick experiments, and that is something nobody wants, trust me on that." Naruto hummed, before he looked away from Tayuya, and to the town. "Let's see what we can do with the Fuma clan, and then we can continue to talk about Orochimaru's forces. I'm really curious to find out how powerful his village and forces are, and what kind of experiments he is performing in that hole. Wait, Tayuya called after Naruto, as he was about to pass through the gate and enter into the town. Hearing Tayuya's call, Naruto stopped, and turned around to look at her, with raised eyebrows. What? He asked. I never said that the Fuma clan is in this town, Tayuya said with a sweat drop on her face. When he heard what Tayuya said, Naruto narrowed his eyes and glared at her. Tayuya flinched, and looked away from Naruto. If they are not here, Naruto spoke in a low tone of voice. Then where are they, and why are we here if they are not? Well, Tayuya tried to say, but the glare she was getting from Naruto was sending shivers through her body. You see, there is still about 2 days of walking until we reach the town where the Fuma clan is, so I thought that, since it's already nearing the end of the day, we should make a stop here, and sleep indoors, instead of camping out. Naruto continued to look at Tayuya with narrowed eyes for a little while, making her squirm under his gaze. After about a minute, he sighed, and said, Fine. But next time, tell me your plans a little bit earlier. I don't like surprises. Do you understand? Tayuya nodded quickly, and then followed after Naruto as they both passed through the gate. XXX. Naruto and Tayuya were walking down the dusty road, in what looked like an abandoned town. All around them were mostly ruined houses, with some of them completely ruined and uninhabitable, and barely few of them can be used for anything. As they were walking, they noticed that there are some people in the town, but they were all hiding behind the walls of the houses, so that they wouldn't be noticed. That would have worked on normal civilians, and low-level ninja, but Naruto and Tayuya were none of the two, so they noticed them even before they passed through the town's gate. Is there even a place where we can spend the night, in this dump? Naruto asked with a frown. Well, I don't really know, Tayuya admitted. I've never really been here, and only heard about this place and several others like this one, throughout the land of rice paddies. Naruto sighed again. Let's just see in that place over there. Naruto pointed to one of the less run-down places in the town. The two of them soon found themselves passing through the door of the house, only to see that it is not a house at all, but instead, a bar, or at least it looks like a bar from the inside. Naruto and Tayuya stood at the inside of the bar, and were looking at the place they just entered. All they could see is that the place doesn't look much better than the rest of the town, and that the only people inside are several women, all but one of which are looking to be in their 20s, while the last one, the one of the two who are standing behind the bar counter, seems to be middle-aged. Well, hello there, strangers, the oldest woman in the bar said as soon as she saw Naruto and Tayuya. Would you look at these two, said the woman with red hair, who was seating on one of the seats next to another woman with purple hair. They sure look interesting, said the purple-haired woman. Though I'm getting bad white from them, she frowned. There is just something strange about them, and I'm not talking about their cloths. Naruto and Tayuya looked at each other, and both sighed. Let's sit down, and see what they have to offer, Tayuya suggested. It's not like there is something better to do, and we can ask about accommodations, while getting some food at the same time. Naruto shrugged, and walked toward one of many free booths, and sat down, with Tayuya seating right next to him. They ordered some food as soon as the oldest woman in the joint came and asked what they want. After that, they ate, as much as possible, since the food is nothing special, but at least it's better than one would think after they see how the place looks like. Hey, Naruto called to the lady who works in the bar, and she approached them. How may I be of help? She asked with a wide smile, which Naruto and Tayuya noticed right away is full of greed and is only there to make customers drop their pants, so to say, after which, both Naruto and Tayuya knew nothing good would happen. We are wondering if there is an inn or something like that in this town, so we can spend the night. Naruto questioned. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any inn or hotel in this town, the woman frowned. But, I'm sure I can find something that would suit you, she was again wearing a large smile on her face. But while I look for a place for you to stay, would you be interested in some fun with our ladies over there? Naruto and Tayuya looked at the woman with raised eyebrows, not believing what they were being asked. The two then looked at each other, before Naruto said, Sorry, but I'm not interested. The woman raised an eyebrow, as she was surprised that Naruto would so quickly dismiss her offer. She tried to remember when was the last time a male entered into her joint, and refused the services of one or more of her girls. She failed to remember after a full minute of trying. Tayuya was also surprised that Naruto refused to have some fun with the whores in this town, but then she remembered that they have been traveling together for about 2 months, and even though she is wearing an extremely sexy outfit, Naruto never even once looked at her in an inappropriate way. It made her wonder if Naruto might actually be homosexual. She looked over him, and sighed, damn, that would be a waste of a good man, if he turns out to be gay. Tayuya thought in her head. The bar owner shrugged eventually, and turned around, before she went to the bar counter, and took a check. She went back to the booth, and handed it to Naruto, who took one look at the check, and immediately noticed that it has a whole lot of zeros more than it should. You know, Naruto said, drawing the attention of everyone in the bar. I was expecting that someone would try to rip me off in this place, but at least I was thinking they will try to be subtle about it. This on the other hand, this is ridiculous. Naruto then lifted his eyes from the check, and looked at the woman who gave it to him, with a look in his eyes, which almost made her piss herself in fear. XXX. 15 minutes later, Naruto and Tayuya were walking away from the small run-down town. Naruto had a scowl on her face, while Tayuya was just looking at the ground in front of her as she was walking few steps behind Naruto. I'm sorry, Tayuya mumbled as she was walking. Naruto stopped for a moment, and looked at her. What for? He asked. For bringing you here, she replied. We should have just slept outside and then continued to search for the Fuma clan in the morning. Naruto looked at Tayuya without saying anything, for about a minute, before he sighed. Don't worry about it, he said. Thought next time, warn me about your plans in advance. Okay, Tayuya said with a slight smile on her face, before the two continued to walk. They walked for another minute, before Naruto suddenly stopped, turned around and looked back at the village, from the top of the hill he and Tayuya were currently on. You know what, Naruto said. I think this is a perfect opportunity to show you another technique, which all Arrancar can use. Tayuya looked at Naruto with wide eyes in disbelief. What? Now? Here? She shouted. Yes, Naruto said. That town is an eyesore, I should do something about it. Don't you think? Without waiting for Tayuya to say anything, Naruto jumped up into the air, and stood on air. He motioned to Tayuya to come near him, and she did, so now, they were both standing on air, outside of the run-down town, filled with scum of the earth. The technique I will show you is called Sero, Naruto said. Now, there are several variations of Sero. There is normal Sero, which can be used by all hollows from Jillian class and above, then there are many different variations, all depending on the user, and can only be used by that user. For example, you might achieve a variation of Sero which is unique to you, and which I won't be able to use. I have several of those, though, and you wouldn't be able to use them, so I won't bother to teach them to you. Finally, there is Gran Rey Sero, which could only be used by the strongest Arrancars. Right now, you are not at the level where you could use it, but one day, you might be, so I will show it to you, so that you could see what you will be able to do if you reach a certain level of power. Tayuya just stood on air, and carefully listened to what Naruto was saying. She didn't want to miss anything, since she was excited to learn this new technique, especially since she has already learned several others, and was over the moon, with how good they are, and how powerful she got in just 2 months of training with those techniques. Any other Sero can be fired without much preparations or trouble. Naruto started to speak again, while at the same time, he bit the thumb of his right hand. But with Gran Rey Sero, you actually need to infuse a little bit of your blood, for it to work. Sort of like a summoning jutsu. Do you understand? Tayuya nodded, so Naruto continued. After that, you push the hand with the blood on it, forward, and put your fingers in a way that they are all bent slightly and the tips pointing straight. Then you push Reryoku in front of that hand, and form it into a ball. From here, Naruto just formed a blue orb of destruction, with the middle of it being whitish. The ball was spinning like a razor as it compresses and decompresses due to the sheer speed and raw power of it. Once the ball was finally ready, Naruto fired it at the middle of the town. Tayuya watched in shock and horror, as the ball hit the ground in the middle of the town, and exploded, causing an explosion of catastrophic proportion, which completely engulfed the town in a giant dome of blue and white energy of destruction. The dome must have been a kilometer in height, and has engulfed not only the town, but the large portion of the surrounding area. Even outside of the dome, there was destruction, as the ground broke, and deep trenches have been forming and spreading far into the distance. The trees have been uprooted and were set flying all over the area, from the shockwave, and many trees have fallen into the trenches, whose bottom can't even be seen by Naruto and Tayuya, who were high into the air and above the dome. When it was all over, the results of the destruction were greater than if the Nine Tails has thrown a tailed beast bomb on this place. Where once stood a town, which can be considered a scar on the face of the earth, now there is no reason for consideration, because there really is a scar on the face of the earth. The crater, which was created by the explosion, looks like it's probably around 5 kilometers in radius and almost 200 meters in depth. Around the crater, there were many cracks in the ground, which seemed to go forever in both length and depth. The surrounding forest has been almost completely obliterated by the force of the explosion, and Tayuya, who was looking at the destruction, could have sworn that some of the hills have actually decreased in height, as if they have sunk underground for a few meters. Tayuya looked away from the ground, and toward Naruto, with eyes wide open in disbelief, fear, awe and every other sort of emotion one can think of. She immediately noticed a frown on Naruto's face, and it made her wonder, why the hell is he frowning? She also couldn't help but think about all the people who were in the town, and who were just completely obliterated by Naruto. She wondered if Naruto even feels some guilt by killing all of those people, and if they have truly deserved to die like this, even though they were criminals. The look on Naruto's face, though, didn't seem like the look on the face of the one who feels any sort of guilt whatsoever. Naruto hummed. This is not nice. He then pulled his sword from the sheet, and pointed it upwards, toward the sky. The moment Tayuya saw Naruto pull out his sword, she almost had a heart attack, because this is the first time she actually saw him pull out that sword, and it made her wonder what kind of destruction can he cause with it, if he can change landscapes with his bare hands. Suddenly, Naruto's sword was surrounded in light blue color, and then there was a stream of water flying over the sword, and coiling around like a serpent. Cascada, Naruto said, and brought the sword downward toward the crater. The water followed after the sword, and a huge pillar of water rushed down and struck into the crater, before it started to flow around and fill the crater. Once it reached the trenches, it started to fill them as well. Naruto held this for about a minute, during which he has created millions of gallons of water, which has filled the crater and trenches, thus, creating an artificial lake and several dozen rivers connected to the lake. Naruto smirked at his handiwork, and resheated his sword, before he looked at Tayuya's dumbfounded face. What? He asked with a small smirk on his face. What the hell are you? Tayuya asked. Naruto's smirk widened for a moment, before he said, I'm no different than you are. You will realize that soon enough. Naruto then came back down to the ground, followed by Tayuya, and the two of them continued on their way toward the town where Fuma clan is currently living. As they were walking, Naruto cast the look at two different places, where he has noticed that there are some people, and while he recognized the chakra signatures of one group, as belonging to those women from the bar, who have run away after he disposed of the brutes they summoned to rob him, he didn't recognize the chakra signature of the lone person who was on the other side of the road, hiding behind some bush. He was tempted for a second to kill all of them, so that they won't blab about what happened here to anyone, but in the end, he decided not to do it, and let them live. For now, anyway. Naturally, the destruction that Naruto caused, has brought ninja from the Sound Village, to see what happened. Since they were the closest, the ninja from Sound arrived near the new artificial lake, the day after Naruto and Tayuya left, but in the end, news travels fast, and in the next few days, there will be people from other hidden villages who will show up to see what happened. The ninja from the Sound who showed up to investigate what happened in the small rural town, were a bald man with long spider-like limbs. He also had very thick eyebrows and a scar on his right eye. His name is Jigamo. The second man, who seems to be coming out from the ground, and only has the upper half of his body visible, is a grotesque, hunchbacked man with buck teeth and shoulder-length, black hair. His name is Kajiro. The third man, whose name is Kamakiri, had short smooth black hair and dark-colored eyes. He also had thick eyebrows. He wore a short-sleeved brown shirt with a maroon-colored line running down to the end of the shirt on the right side, a black pair of fingerless gloves, and a gray pair of pants. He had a set of scissor pincers on his right arm and a black strap holding it to his arm. He also wore a gray t-shirt under his brown shirt. He wore a black belt to hold up his pants and they had a silver belt buckle on them. The three of them were sent by Orochimaru to find out what happened, and to return back to the base as soon as they find out, so that they can inform him about the findings. It didn't take long time for a 3 trained ninja to find a group of women hiding in the forest not far from the lake. After they interrogated them, and found out about Naruto and Tayuya, well, they didn't found out the names, but they did get the physical description, and the general direction of where they went to. The 3 left the area and returned back to their base, to inform Orochimaru about what happened and what they found out. The women were left behind. Surprisingly, they weren't hurt in any way, and were just left to proceed as they wished. XXX. Naruto and Tayuya are just outside of the town where Fuma clan is supposed to be. They have been traveling for the last 2 days in relative peace, since they didn't run into anyone, so there was no trouble on the road. During the occasional stop they would make, Naruto would have short spars with Tayuya, so that she can learn to control the few techniques that Naruto taught her, like Sonido, Bala, Pesquisa, and Descora. On top of those techniques, Tayuya also knows Hyro, but Hyro is a passive ability, so she didn't have to learn it, she just needs to become stronger, and over time, her defense will become stronger as well. As for the other techniques, she doesn't have a lot of trouble with Bala, Sonido and Descora, but Pesquisa does pose a slight problem for her. And while Tayuya is frustrated at her inability to learn the technique, Naruto isn't, as he is sure she will learn it one day. She just needs more time with that particular technique, unlike with the others, who came easier to her. Even though he has shown her Gran Rey Sero, Naruto didn't want to teach Tayuya the normal Sero until they find a place where they don't have to worry about being spied on. Which means that until they go to the land of whirlpools, one of the most powerful techniques all hollows can use, will have to be put on hold. Outside of those techniques, Naruto has been helping Tayuya with swordsmanship. Naruto wasn't using his own sword for the training, though. What he was using is a technique called Colmillo, to solidify his Raishian former sword. This was once a technique which belonged to the piece of Naruto, which became Coyote Stark. Stark could only use it in his resurrection form, but Naruto can use it any time he wants. As they stood on the hill, outside of the town, the two heard rustling in the bush next to the road. Just as they turned toward where the rustling was coming from, a person jumped from the bushes, and all but fell on the road, right in front of Naruto and Tayuya. The two traveling companions, and cousins, looked at the person in front of them, who was looking right back at them, before Naruto and Tayuya looked at each other for a second, before they looked back at the person. Tayuya had a confused look on her face, as she didn't know who this person was, nor did she know what's going on, though she did notice that the person was injured, judging by the way they are holding their shoulder. Naruto, on the other hand, recognized the person's chakra signature as the one who he noticed 2 days ago right after he blew up that shithole, and created a lake afterward. His senses also managed to pick up the fact that the person kneeling in front of him, is in fact, a girl. He, just like Tayuya, couldn't help but wonder what is the girl doing there, and what happened to her. Seeing that the person on front of her isn't saying anything, but isn't making a run for it either, Tayuya took 2 steps forward, making the other girl pull backward a little, before she fell back down in pain while holding her right shoulder. Easy there, Tayuya said, trying to calm the girl down. Not that she knows that the person in front of her is a girl, because of the way she was dressed and because of the mask over her head. I'm not going to hurt you. Just tell me who you are, and what happened to you. The girl didn't reply thought, and only looked at Naruto and Tayuya with fear in her eyes. What are you doing here? Naruto suddenly asked, drawing the attention from both girls, at himself. I sensed you 2 days ago after I blew up that town. I know you were there, and I decided to let you walk away even though you saw what I did. But here you are again, right in front of me, and it makes me wonder, how come you are in the same place as the two of us for the second time in 2 days? Have you been following us? Again, silence. The girl just didn't seem to want to talk, and it made Naruto frown. Tayuya though, she looked straight at Naruto as soon as he said that he knows this person. What do you mean, he saw what you did? Tayuya asked with a frown. Why didn't you tell me anything? And was it someone else there, who could have seen what you did? First of all, it's not he, it's a she, Naruto said, and Tayuya's eyes widened. The girl's eyes also widened in surprise, as she didn't think that Naruto will know her gender because of how she was dressed and because of the mask. Second, I didn't tell you anything because there was no need. And yes, someone else did see what I did. Those women from that rip-off joint were there as well, and saw everything. I thought about killing them all. The girl flinched when she heard what Naruto said, and backed away a little, But she didn't run away, not just because of the pain in her shoulder, but also because she doubted she would be able to run away if Naruto didn't want her to run away. But in the end, I decided to just let them be, since I already killed enough people that day. But what if they tell someone about what you did? Tayuya asked. Naruto just shrugged. I don't care, he said. It's not like anyone knows who we are, or what we can do outside of causing mass destruction. And even if someone was to find us, they wouldn't be able to do much against the two of us. Tayuya sighed. That decision of yours may cause us some trouble later down the line, she said. We don't want anyone to know about our plans until it's too late to do anything. Well, no one would know anything if you managed to master Pesquisa and learn to keep your mouth shut, Naruto said with narrowed eyes, causing Tayuya to wonder what did she do. Naruto then looked toward the girl and said, I'm assuming that wound was caused by the 3 spies who are currently watching us from over there. Naruto pointed his finger toward where he can sense 3 ninja, 2 with Chunin chakra levels and 1 Jonin. The same spies who, because of you, Naruto looked toward Tayuya, know that we have some plans, even though they don't know what they are. Tayuya's face turned scarlet red from embarrassment caused by what she did. Naruto was right in everything she said. Because of her, the potential enemies now know about them, and that can cause them some trouble in the future, unless of course, something is done right now. What should we do? Tayuya asked. Naruto looked at her with a frown on her face, but it quickly turned into a smirk. They are all yours, Naruto simply said, and Tayuya nodded quickly, as she didn't want to make Naruto angry. As soon as he nodded, Tayuya disappeared in a burst of speed, and went after the 3 ninja, who started running away as soon as they heard Naruto saying that he knows that they are there. They run away because they knew that they can't possibly fight against someone who can cause destruction on the level above anyone else. When Tayuya left, Naruto looked at the girl and said, You should just take that mask of your head now, as there is no reason to hide yourself, since I know about your gender. Also, there is no need to be scared. I have no intention to hurt you now, when I already let you live 2 days ago. The girl looked at Harry for about a minute, before she took off the ski mask she was wearing, and showed her long orange hair and beautiful young face for Naruto to see. The two looked at each other for another minute, before the girl spoke for the first time. My name is Sasame Fuma. XXX. While they had the head start, the 3 ninja who were running away from Tayuya weren't able to run away far before she caught up to them, and engaged them in battle. She made short work of 2 Kamakiri and Jigamo, and only Kijiro put up some fight, and that was only after Kijiro transformed back into a woman, showing that in fact, she is a woman and not a man. Of course, Tayuya knew this all along, as she has known these 3 since before she left Orochimaru's services, and joined Naruto. Kijiro was able to escape from Tayuya while carrying the other 2, with the help of a special jutsu which can be used only once in a lifetime, and teleported away, before Tayuya could catch them or even kill them. Tayuya sighed after her targets escaped, and then headed back to where Naruto and the other girl stayed. She wondered on the way, how Naruto would react when he hears that the people who have some information about them, have managed to escape. XXX. While Tayuya was battling against her opponents, Sasame told Naruto that she was trying to save her cousin, Arashi, who joined Orochimaru, along with some other Fuma clan members, among which are the 3 who were spying on them. She didn't dare to lie to Naruto, or to try to deceive him, so she told him that the injury she has was done on purpose, in agreement with Jigamo, Kamakiri and Kijiro, so that she can get close to Naruto and Tayuya and slip them the sleeping drug. They would have them captured after that, and taken to Orochimaru, while Sasame would have been taken to see Arashi. Hearing her story, Naruto could only sigh, as he didn't know what else to do. The part of him which hates everything, was telling him to just kill the girl and be done with it, but the other part of him, which is closer to his original self, wants to leave her alive and even help her in finding her cousin. All in all, Naruto is all but split in half, and doesn't know what to do. He hopes that when Tayuya comes back, she can tell him something about this, Arashi, since she should know him because of her time working for Orochimaru. XXX. When Tayuya came back and said that the 3 ninja have escaped, Naruto wasn't happy, but he wasn't angry either. He was surprised though, that they were able to escape from Tayuya, because with her Sonido, even though she hasn't mastered it, she has cage level speed. Escaping from her, takes a lot of speed, and skills, and according to her, apparently one of the 3 ninja, Kijiro, had the skills to pull it off. Naruto was very interested in that Kanoiki, from that moment on, and hoped to run into her again. Naruto then explained to Tayuya what Sasame told him, and Tayuya revealed that she knew Arashi, and the 3 ninja who escaped from her earlier. Wait, you know Arashi? Sasame asked with hope in her eyes, and Tayuya nodded. But how? Tayuya was silent for a few moments, thinking if she should tell Sasame that she used to work for Orochimaru. In the end, she decided against it, as she isn't sure how the girl would react. I have my way of knowing things, Tayuya said cryptically. Sasame looked at Tayuya for a moment, thinking if she should press more in order to find out how Tayuya knows Arashi, but in the end, she didn't want to risk it. Can you at least tell me who you are, and what are you doing here in the land of rice paddies? Sasame asked. My name is Alessandro Stark, Naruto introduced himself, before he pointed at Tayuya. She is Lilynette Stark. We are cousins. As for what we are doing in this land, that can wait for later. First we need to treat that wound, or better said, Tayuya will help you treat that wound. Sasame nodded in agreement. She was thankful that Naruto isn't a pervert who won't push it and try to see her naked by claiming that he needs to treat her wound. And how am I supposed to treat her wound? Tayuya asked with irritation in her voice. I'm not a medic nin, nor do I have some medicine with me which can help her. So how am I supposed to do it? I didn't think about that, Naruto admitted, and then thought about it for a minute, before he remembered. Let's go to that town down there, and there we can find a doctor who can help her, after which, she can lead us to the Fuma clan. Why are you searching for my clan? Sasame asked with a slightly scared look on her face, as she has seen what Naruto can do, and had a bad feeling about his reasoning for wanting to see her clan. I have to talk to them about something, Naruto said. Don't worry, I don't plan to hurt any of you. Of course, if they attack or try to pull some shit on us, well, they won't like the end results. Naruto's words made Sasame shudder a little, as she instantly remembered what Naruto did to that town, 2 days ago, and wondered if he will end up doing that again, but this time, in the same town where she lives with what's left of her clan. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.